Hey guys, my name is Shayla Kelly. I am a board member at the Hammond Regional Art Center, and I'm also over the Education and Outreach Committee, and I also teach a couple of the Z-Arts classes at the Art Center. Good news, we've rebranded the Z-Arts classes. The name has changed. We've gone from Z-Arts to the ARTisTRY classes. So the Hammond Regional Art Center's ARTisTRY classes is a move to encompass everyone of all ages to try art. So when you see the logo, you're going to see ARTisTRY, and you're going to see the word art and try kind of highlighted there. So try art. Hope it's a little catchy. So without further ado, we are making Mother's Day cards today. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. All right, guys, I'm not going to hold you long with rambling on. I'll talk to you a little bit more at the end of the video about some things. So let's start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a color that I think will make a really good background for my card. So let's see. I did pink for the last one. Let's try maybe purple this time. Purple's my favorite color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper. This is going to be my card. And we're going to fold it card length. So hamburger style, as some people say. And I'm going to just make a nice fold right down the center, just like that. So it opens up like a card. Now, I'm going to set this to the side because my card's already been folded. And I'm going to set it to the side. Now what I'm going to do is take that white piece of paper out that I had. This is what we're going to make our tulips on. Now, same thing we did with the card. Folding the card, we're going to fold it this way, the same way too. And the reason why we're folding it this way is so we don't draw our tulips bigger than our card. They'll match the size of our card. And we're going to use both sides for this, so that way we can get two tulips out of one piece of paper, okay? So it's really quite simple in how you draw a tulip. It's not as hard as you think it is. So a tulip can be broken down into shapes. Anything you draw can be broken down into shapes. If you saw the last video I did with you guys, an introduction to turning shapes into a character, it's the same thing with anything you draw. You can turn shapes into anything you want to draw. Shapes are your basic forms and how artists can translate things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to start roughly in the middle of my paper, and I'm going to draw an oval. So I have my oval, and now what I'm going to do with my oval is I'm going to start dividing my oval into thinner ovals or stretched out ovals. So I'm going to start in the middle because that's where my stem's going to be, coming down from the middle, and I'm going to curve it in half and cut it like that. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Now I got this open space right here in the middle, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from about halfway up right here where this V is, and I'm going to draw a little split to it like that. I've got my basic tulip shape now, even though it doesn't look like it, but I do. So now what I'm going to do is, like where that middle line is that we connected right here to the bottom, I'm going to connect a long, very long rectangle, kind of wide. This is going to be the stem. And I'm going to make sure it curves into my tulip like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a leaf. Tulips have long leaves. So I'm going to start off to my side down at the bottom of my stem, and I'm going to come up a little bit and pull away like a big curve big whooshy curve, and I'm going to come back down. Now I'm going to take from that spot again down at the bottom, and I'm going to draw another curve, come back up like that. I have my tulip now. So here's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to take out my markers. Now I have two different types of markers here, and I'm going to show you a little trick with them so it doesn't try to roll away on me anymore. So it does not matter what size markers you have. They're perfectly fine. I'll show you a trick with them. I have a big one and I have a little one. If you have the big ones, that's fine. If you have the little ones, that's fine. I'm going to show you a trick on how to outline your flowers. Now, look at your marker. It has a tip to it, if I can get it to focus. Now, your markers have a tip to them. They have a point. That point can make your line thick or thin depending on how you hold the marker. If you want your lines thick, hold your marker to the side like that, and then you trace your flower and your leaf. That's what we're going to do. And don't worry if you kind of mess up. We're going to color in a lot of this. Now I'm giving some details to these as I go. I'm doing some little squiggly lines. Now here's a tip. Here's that tip I was trying to tell you about. If you take the tip of your marker, don't push so hard, but hold it straight up. You can get thin lines. Now I'm just kind of dragging through like that and putting some little lines like that. Don't worry about the bottom, going all the way to the bottom, because you're going to cut this. So you have that one, you've colored in now. You can either use your markers to color in this, you can use your markers to color in, or you can use your crayons to color in. Doesn't matter. If you even have color pencils, you can use those too. So let's see, I want this tulip to be, let's see, I'm gonna go with a yellow tulip again. So if you want, before you get started, you can go in and erase your lines if you want. You don't have to. I like my lines in. But if you want it clean, you can go in and erase your lines. So I'm going to start right here and just start coloring in. It's like a coloring page now. You've made your own tulip coloring page. So I'm going to color it all in. Now the lighter you press, the lighter your coloring will be. The harder you press, the darker your coloring will be. So I would say kind of press kind of firmly, but not too firm or not too hard. Moms, if you're helping, let your little one pick the colors. I want mine to have like little orange tips on it, like a flame. Because moms are our light. So I'm taking and coloring the tips of it, and then I'm not going to come all the way down, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing these little lines like this, pulling all the way up to the top. And don't worry if you color outside of your lines. This is going to help you. If you color outside your lines, don't worry, you're gonna cut it out again. And I might take a little bit of red and come in at that very tip up top. Like that. come through with something like that. Now, I'm going to take a light green, start coloring at the base of the flower where it connects to the stem, and fill it in, fill in my leaf. Coloring tip: if you color in little circles, you won't see those scratchy lines that you see right here. I've got some scratchy looking lines. If you color in circles, you'll get a better result. Now I'm going to take a darker green and come in, not all over, but in some spots, but definitely on this leaf right here, on this side of the leaf right here, you want to come in with it darker. This just gives the leaf a little bit more dimension to it. Now, look at that. Now, your tip on your small marker right here, I forgot to get that in. It can give you some details too. And the same thing, if you hold it to the side, and I'll show you, hold it to the side, you get a thicker line. Hold it straight up and down like normal, thinner line. So now, you're going to take those scissors. Mom, this is where you might want to help if you have a little one whose motor skills aren't quite there yet. And we're going to cut this out. Those thick lines help guide you. This might be a little tricky to cut out, so what I tend to do is I move the paper around while cutting, not so much the scissors. If I need to, get up in there. And don't worry, if you chop it in half or you cut something off, you can always glue it back together. Taking to chop this piece off right there so I can make it a little easier for myself to get in there. And it's okay. All that matters is that you're having fun together while you make this card. And I'm going to go down that stem. And you're going to cut that bottom part off just like that. Like that, you now have your lily. That's lily number one. I'm sorry, I'm calling them lilies, tulips. I like drawing lilies. So we're going to set this one aside for now. Put it over here. And then we're going to flip that back paper over. So what we're going to do next, if you want to, you can chop that other half off with the scissors. And we're going to repeat the same, we're going to repeat the same process. This time I'm going to draw a smaller one. This could be your little one. Going to draw another oval. This time you can divide your lily up differently. Your tulip now I got the other half. Now, this tulip, we're going to design it a little bit different. We're still going to have the same principles as we did before, the same bases of it, that oval. And now what we're going to do is, instead of splitting it down the middle, we're going to have it kind of off to the side. We're going to have more petal on this side. And then I'm going to take and bring this petal a little bit lower. Notice I'm going a little higher than what I started. Same with that part. And I'm going to draw a little bitty hump right there. Now I'm going to go ahead, bring down my stem like I did last time. Remember, I'm connecting a really long rectangle. And I'm going to put 2 leaves on this one. And I might put one a little shorter on that end, just like that. Drawing those big old long curves with a thin, 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 thin curve. Not an angle. We don't want to pinch it. We want to make it round. Same thing with that one. Got your lily again. Now, take that marker. Trace those lines. Remember, you don't have to be perfect, because remember, we're cutting this out. Tracing over my lines, and I'm giving a little bit more detail. I'm adding some little squiggles in. I'm not making them perfectly round. Now you can go in if you want. Let that dry before you go erase, because you might smear it. You can go in and erase those lines. I'm going to go in and erase as best as I can. Go back and add some details in. Like that. Now, take those crayons out again, or those markers or color pencils. Doesn't matter. This one I want. Let's see. What was our card like? What color was our card? Did that flame in the pinkish one? Let's see. How about, let's look at the color for this one. Let's do the reverse of this one. So I'm going to take my red, and I'm going to start with my red in the middle this time. Now my table's textured, so you're going to see those little bumps. Remember, the harder you press, the deeper the color, the darker the color. Don't want to break your crayon though. same thing when I did the tips on this one. I pulled down. I'm going to pull up this time. Help that transition happen when we get ready to do the yellow. Grab me a little orange. This is more of a scarlet. You can mix and match those colors too. I'm in the same color family like that. You're good. Go back in and get that one too. Now I'm going to take my yellow. Get the tip of that yellow coming in there like that. I want mine very in there. Ooh, look at that. I love it. This is coming out nice. Now you go in there with that green. You can do long strokes to fill it in real quickly. Ooh. Uh-oh. That happens. Going with the green, darker green. Get that. Oh, it flew away. Get a little gradient going on there. Remember, don't worry about this part. You're going to cut it. All right. Let's go and cut it. I'll probably speed the video up right here. All right, now we have our lilies. Ah, I keep saying lilies. Our tulips. Forgive me, guys. All right, so here's what we're gonna do next. Take our card out. Now, I don't think they fit too well this way. What you think? There'd be too much coming off, but it would be a really cool idea if you did it that way too. You could do it that way. Let's do it that way. So now you take your glue, your little dabs. Remember, glue, a little bit of glue goes a long way. You don't have to go all the way up your flower because we're only going, taking our card and putting it a different way this time. Doesn't matter which one you put on first. Oh, we forgot to cut our bottom. Let's cut that bottom off. So it's nice and neat. I got a little glue somewhere, but that's okay. It's okay if it overlaps that one too. Gives it some dimension. That's gonna dry. Looking at it from all angles. You can take your marker now and write a message across, or open it, and then you can put happy Mother's Day. I love you. And now Mom's got a beautiful card, and you can do them either way. Thanks for watching. I hope this was easy and fun for you to do. Try to get more videos out as soon as we can. And remember, you guys can join the Hammond Regional Arts Center and you'll get all the up-to-date information about the artistry classes, when they'll happen, when we'll start doing things again. Check the Facebook page. Check our Instagram page. We put all kinds of information up there, and other activities for you guys to do too. So again, I hope you enjoy this. Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there, and pet mamas too, because I'm a pet mama. All right guys, thanks again. Bye.